Alright, so we are here at the trailhead of Cactus to Clouds, and it's going to be a pretty intense hike today. Total mileage is going to be 21 miles with over 10,000 feet of elevation gain. Some people consider this the hardest day hike in the world, so either we are kind of crazy or probably just kind of crazy. I don't really know what else, but we'll see how this goes today. One of the kind of crazy, unique things about this hike is you probably can't tell from here, but we're literally in downtown Palm Springs. Our hotel was right across the street and we just walked over here. And then we have this huge mountain up behind us that it's hard to tell because it's dark. It's like 4:55 a.m. But this hike, we're hopeful that we can do it in about 12 hours, but could be longer. Probably won't be less, but I sure would love it to be less. Okay, update. We haven't even gone 100 feet and we're confused if we're on the trail or not. So it's a good start to the day, but got sunrise of downtown behind us already. So yeah, should be an exciting one. All right, so we have been going, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe. But we're starting to get a little bit of sunrise. You can see downtown over there. You can see right there, that is our hotel we stayed at. We've climbed about 500 feet, which means we only have about 10,100 to go. So, you know, making really, really good progress right now, but it's a really nice day out, although I'm regretting not being in shorts and short sleeves because it is getting toasty. However, because there's such a great vertical difference between the bottom and top, the top is probably only going to be in the 30s, whereas down at the base it'll be about 80 today. So pretty wide variance of temperature there, but yeah, it should be an exciting day. All right, so in case this hike was not challenging enough, someone put this pull-up bar here just to get a few extra reps, make it a little more challenging. So I'm always here for the challenge, so I guess we'll do a few. All right, also I realized I did not introduce my buddy Austin, who's here with me on this trip. You know, I invited a lot of my friends and most of them said that's too hard or challenging, so I'm calling all of them out right now. And here's my one friend who is psycho enough to try this hike with me. So this is Austin.
In other words, he didn't tell me all the details until after he found cheap flights. I said, yeah, dude, I'm in.
All right, so this sign paint on a rock behind me is kind of the subtle warning of, if you're not a good hiker, like, just turn around now. Otherwise, you're probably going to die of dehydration in the desert. So I guess we're going to push onward. And if this video never comes out, I guess you know why. So we have passed a few people who have had to turn around and they were coming down, and all of these people, it's at the 3.5 mile mark and we're almost at 2.5 miles. So I'm interested to see what happens in the next mile because it is taking a lot of people out. So yeah, we'll see what happens at 3.5 miles. So we're at Rescue 1 here. There's a couple places on this trail that they kind of call the gut check of, hey, am I gonna keep going? Am I gonna turn around? So the first one is the picnic benches, which we already passed. That was pretty easy to get there. This one we're at about 2.5 miles in now, and I think about 2,000 feet of vertical gain. So this is the second one. So we're feeling good, we're gonna keep going. But as I said a minute ago, it seems like the real gut check is 3.5 miles in, because that's where everyone's turning around. So we'll see what happens at 3.5 miles. So one of the kind of unique, crazy things about this trail is like, we're clearly in the mountains in the desert, but then you turn to this vantage point and you have downtown Palm Springs just right there. So it's pretty unique. Like I said earlier, we started literally in downtown, and now we're just like in the mountains, but with a cool view of downtown. All right, so a little bit of an update. It has definitely gotten more challenging, no doubt, but we're at 3.72 miles, and I'll show proof. I don't know if that shows up very well, but we're at 3.72 miles and we have not turned around. So we are not as big of quitters as those other people. And if by some miracle chance those other people watch this video, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're feeling pretty good. I mean, feeling it a little bit, but we're feeling good overall. Starting to get hot. The sun's out, so we need to climb more elevation to cool the temps down a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to get over that. The ghost of 3.5. We just got past about 4 miles. We have done about 3,500 feet of vertical gain. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I was feeling honestly really, really good. And then we came across this corner and I can now see, I don't know, I can now see what's ahead of us. And now I'm very disappointed again because that is a lot more vertical to go. We have reached the 4,000 feet and 5 miles into the hike part. So the hike is kind of 2 sections, if you will. The first 10 miles are, you gain 8,000 feet, so like just straight uphill. The last 10 miles, you only gain 2,000 feet, but a lot more, mileage per elevation gain. So in this first section, if you will, we're kind of at the halfway point, and I'm excited about that because my muscles are starting to get very fatigued. So gonna get some electrolytes, eat some food. Hopefully my muscles start feeling a little bit better. But I'm excited. We're at this like halfway part of the really intense section. It up to rescue 2, so that means we're about 6.5 miles in. We've done about 5,500 feet of vertical gain, I believe. So it means to the top of this first section, which is where we get a lot of the vertical, means we have about 3,000 feet left of vertical gain. Only like 2 miles, which is crazy because we have to get all the way up there in 2 miles, which means it's just a lot of straight up. They do say if you make it to rescue 2, that if there's an emergency, you're actually better off to hike up than to hike down at this point. So I guess that's a positive. It means we're getting closer up there, but it's definitely starting to take a toll on the muscles. But all I do is I keep reminding myself to look at Austin's hat of just go one more mile, one more step, one more 1,000 feet. Yeah, it's a process. All right, so I realized as we've been hiking, I probably haven't properly explained the entirety of this hike. So the way it's gonna work is we're gonna go up to the first 10 miles, we gain 8,000 feet, and that takes us up to Long's valley, and there's like a ranger station up there. There's also a tram. So those who are lazy and don't want to do the hike, they can just take the tram up to that part. Then from there is another 10 miles with 2,000 feet of gain to get to the actual summit. So the mileage, we're only halfway, but way less vertical. So in theory, it should be a little easier. And then we hike back to the tram, and we'll take the tram down at the end of the day, which will be the most glorious tram ride I've ever taken in my life. I've never been so excited ever to ride a tram, ever. Last night, when we got to the hotel, which was about across the street from the trailhead, we walked over to the trailhead just because we wanted to see where we were starting, and we passed someone who was starting the hike at like 11 p.m. last night. And I'm very curious to know, like, have they made the summit already? Have they gone down the tram already?
I'm guessing she's not going down the tram. So really, we're the lazy ones.
Yeah, maybe. Or any corner are we about to pass our body? I don't know.
Gosh.
Austin currently has a element packet, which, if you don't know what that is like a hydration electrolyte mix that you put in water. But we currently don't really, or at least he doesn't have enough extra water to really use a water bottle for it right now. So he's just drinking it dry right now. And
I wouldn't call it drinking it. Oh.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, he's struggling with it over here. We are currently at Flat Top Rock, which is just, as you would think, a flat rock. But above us, we have what is called Grubb's Notch. So this is kind of the hardest section of the entire hike. Once we get up there, we've completed the most challenging part, the greatest elevation gain part. But the next hour or two, or I don't know, for really slow, maybe longer, gonna be quite a bit of work, and our legs are already feeling it, so should be interesting. But once we get up there, I am gonna be very, very excited. We also, thankfully, up there at the ranger station, we're able to refill water, which is gonna be great. I'm down to like a liter left. I don't know how much Austin has, but trying to like conserve water, but also like stay hydrated. So it's a fun balance out here in the desert. All right, so this probably does not show up that great on camera, but this is an example of how steep it is, the stretch we're about to go into. Again, probably doesn't show up on camera, but we're basically just walking straight uphill. No zigzags back and forth, no switchbacks, none of that. Like, just straight uphill right now. Still got a little ways to go to get to the top of Grubbs, but we are starting to feel like we're getting within the ballpark of close. Like, I know we still have a good distance, but we were just having a conversation, and I was saying how in the moment this isn't necessarily fun per se, but like I know I'm gonna look back and like it's gonna be fun memories of like the accomplishment that we made doing this. And Austin actually presented a concept to me I never heard about before. So Austin, explain it.
Yeah, so I was saying it's type 2 fun. So type 1 fun is like super fun in the moment, nothing but pleasure, nothing but enjoyment. Type 2 fun is usually hard, challenging, grueling, arguably not that fun in the moment, but after the fact, because of the accomplishment, the camaraderie, the memories, it's fun. Type 2 fun.
Yeah, so there is a lot of type 2 fun right now, which is actually not fun. But it will be, so, you know, it'll be worth it. Just wait for it. When I'm watching this video, it'll be fun. Okay, so we have just entered the traverse section, is what it's named, and it is the last steep section until we get to the top. Arguably the hardest part, I think, but what we just went through was extremely tiring. I'm doing everything I can to show enthusiasm right now, but I might not even be succeeding. But you know, I told Austin earlier, we had this whole type 2 fun discussion, and I don't know if this is type 2 fun anymore. He said there is a third option, which is type 3 fun, which is actually not fun at all. So I don't know, I'm fringing on type 3 fun at the moment. You probably will not be able to tell watching the video, but I'll be honest, I had to stop recording for a while and just power through, because that last section to get over Grubb's Notch was absolutely intense. But we have finally made it to the top of the really, really intense vertical section. So we now have roughly, I just want to cry thinking of how much longer we have, but we have a little over 10 more miles, but only 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and we should be getting up to the ranger station here soon, where we can get more water, probably take a short break, eat some food, and then keep on trucking. I think at our current moment, we're maybe on a pace of about 14 hours for the whole thing. But who knows, maybe we can pick it up even more in this back section since it is going to be more flat, but we shall see. But this area is really, really pretty right now. Alright, so a little bit of update. When we got to the top of Grubb's Notch and went over to the ranger station, you have to get a permit to hike the remainder of the trail to the actual summit. Now, the park ranger told us we actually got there a little bit too late, past the cutoff. However, he did give us a permit and said that we could go on forward, which is awesome. So we are continuing forward. It's crazy to think we still have another 12 miles, not near the vertical, not even close, but we got the distance still to go. Wow, and now I'm just walking into rocks, but it's funny, Austin made the comment, but normally I'm the one kind of pushing the pace when we're hiking, but today it's been him, because I have been absolutely feeling it. Ever since we got to that huge vertical section, I've just really been feeling it. So hopefully I start to get feeling a little bit better. We make it all the way to the summit and back to the tram, and then rest and feast on some pizza or something.
All right, what's up, guys? Well, can't find Jonathan, but he left the camera behind, so I guess I'm taking over. But we have found our first patch of snow, which means there's more to come. Got a beautiful stream off in the distance, but if you know anything about us, the moment we see snow, we're excited. So this is a good sign. Hopefully there's more up top. Oh, there he is. All right, still Austin running the show here. So we have made it almost a third of the way up from the tram, way less elevation gain, feeling good now, moving quicker, which is great. We got about 4.2 miles left, and we are feeling good. So should be a good rest of the hike. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys, I'm back. I'm alive. We are at Wellman's Divide right now, which means from the tram section, the ranger station, all of that, we've gone 3.3 miles, and we have 2.7 remaining till we get to the summit, and then we got to come down another 6 miles. But going down will be a lot faster. At our current pace, we're kind of thinking maybe we'll be done about 8 o'clock, which means that is wow, math is hard right now, 15-hour day. So this hike is absolutely legit. And yeah, if you're into really pushing yourself physically and mentally, I recommend. And if you're not, I would literally not even visit the state of California just so you don't accidentally get this close to this trail. guys, we finally made it up here after roughly 13 hours and 20 minutes of consecutive climbing. We made it to the top of San Jacinto Peak. And they call this hike Cactus to Clouds because you start at the desert floor in the cactus and you end up in the clouds, and actually above the clouds today. So, wow, I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally be up here. Now, maybe the worst part is we still have about 6 more miles to get back to the tram, which is basically a 10K. So after everything we've done today, we basically still have a 10K in front of us, but thankfully it's basically all downhill from here for the most part. The last tram ride down is at 9:30 and it's roughly 6:30 right now. So we should be plenty good time-wise, but we didn't really give ourselves too much time to spare either. So now it's gonna be fun just racing down to get to the tram, and it's gonna be the most joyful tram ride of my life, I can tell you that. Okay, so as you have seen, Austin's been feeling a lot better than me today. He's actually still feeling pretty good overall. Muscles obviously sore by this point. I've been really having to push through, and I think the difference is Austin's been able to consume what, like 2,800 calories? 2,900 calories, and I'm at about 900. But for some reason, I hit a point where any more food in my stomach just felt like I was gonna throw it up, and I just could not eat anything more. So I am in a major calorie deficiency, which I think is leading to why Austin has definitely been feeling a lot better and leading our pace. Although technically I've been leading us, but I'm stopping and he's stopping with me, so it's been good. The sponsor of this video today is actually my nieces and nephews, who sent me a bag of some of their favorite candy, Joyride. They really wanted me to review this on this trail. It's the watermelon wedges. Now, based on what I just told you about how awful I feel and how food just sounds terrible, there might be a chance I throw up here. So, parental advisory I'm giving right now. But we'll see how good these things are. All right, so flavor, pretty good. But again, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold my lunch, so to speak. So we'll see. I'll give you an update if anything wild happens. Okay, so as you know, I'm feeling it. So honestly, I feel like I might just want to stay in this nice little cabin. Let's take a little tour. See what we got. Okay. We got some bunks. I mean, if you were really down and out in a bad situation, it wouldn't be the worst option. Yeah, so quick update. We are about maybe roughly halfway down, maybe a little further than halfway from the very top. And as of now, we should be good. But I'll be honest, we are racing the tram a little bit because the last tram down is 9:30. If you miss that last tram down, that means you have 8,000 feet of vertical to go down in the dark because it's getting dark. We're about to pull our headlamps out. So we're going pretty quick. In the dark, it will make it slightly more challenging to stay at the speed we're going. But again, we should be good. But if the next clip or maybe a few clips from now, we're not on the tram, it means something very bad happens, and I will probably cry on camera if that happens. Alright y'all, so last night, I'll be honest, I was pretty tired and wasn't feeling giving an update at the end of the day, but now it's the next morning, just sitting on my hotel balcony, chilling, looking at the mountains, relaxing a little bit. But it was a good hike. It was strenuous. It stretched us, that's for sure. So all in all, We started at like 5 a.m. in the darkness and ended at like 9 p.m. in the darkness. So about 16 total hours. Took a little bit of like a lunch break in there as well. But it was about 13 hours of just straight up climbing uphill. And then the descent was about 2 hours. So it was, I guess I'd say fun. I'm glad we accomplished it. I'd say type 2 fun, as we mentioned yesterday, because I am starting to definitely enjoy it a little bit more. But also, as I mentioned, I was not feeling good in terms of wanting to eat things. And I did review that candy, but I didn't feel like I did it justice for my nieces and nephews who sent me these Joyride watermelon wedges. So I'm going to try it again now that my stomach is feeling better and just give a second opinion on it. Okay, it's pretty good. Flavor's pretty good. I'd say I'll give it 8 out of 10.